Moments with God, a time of reflection for every day.
January 30th. Final decision Acts 5:29. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, "We ought to obey God rather than men."
Of the people, by the people, and for the people is how a democratic government works. Everything is governed by laws that the representatives of the people legislate. But what does a democratic government do when it feels pressure from the people on a certain issue? In order to keep its position, it has to listen to the voice of the people and dictate laws in favor of their requests. Many times these laws may or may not be correct. However, in order to avoid facing the people, it gives in to their demands. And are there not movements in our time in favor of Sunday? Isn't there a request for a weekly day of rest for the entire world, in order to preserve the environment? Isn't Sunday the day that most churches keep, for it comes in a disguised way, little by little, so that at last the sanctity of a Sunday is declared not only for the papal church, but for all Protestants? But the problem is not the government or Congress, the problem is the people. For it is they who can push for laws in favor of Sunday, and in order not to lose a political office, the rulers accede to their requests. When the principal churches of the United States, uniting on common points of doctrine, influence the state to enforce their decrees and institutions, then Protestant America will have formed an image of the Roman hierarchy, and the imposition of civil penalties against dissenters will be the inevitable result. It seemed impossible for the churches to unite because of the diversity of doctrines and forms of worship. We would not imagine a Baptist in a Pentecostal service, or a Presbyterian worshiping in the Kingdom Hall, an Adventist kissing the Pope's hand, or an Anglican in a Mormon service. However, what seemed impossible is being realized, and it is called ecumenism, which promotes the unity of the churches, where the points they have in common unite them and form an evangelical alliance and universal creed. The doctrine that all the churches have in common is the sanctity of Sunday. Day of the Lord they call it, and yet it is contrary to the biblical commandment. Therefore, when they unite, and demand the observance of the first day of the week instead of the seventh, and put pressure on the government, then the United States will have formed an image of the beast, and will make everyone worship the beast. Right there, the mark of the beast will be imposed. If by legislation popery and its principles are again given power, the fires of persecution will be kindled again against those who will not sacrifice conscience and truth in deference to popular error. This evil is about to occur. When these things happen, the words of the Apostle Peter will be repeated, that it is necessary to obey God rather than men. However, those who today are light in their faith, who do not strive to strengthen their faith in God, and do not strengthen their relationship with the Lord, will not be able to stand on the right side. When these things happen, many will abandon their faith and raise the banner of Rome, and others, those we consider lost, will raise the banner of the Lord in fidelity to his commandments. The Sunday law is the final crisis that will come upon the world, and if we prepare ourselves properly, the last decision will not be the right one. Therefore, from today let us live the principle of obeying God rather than men. Amen.
Thank you for listening to this audio. We invite you to share with your contacts and visit the website BibleWell.com.